Hey there, future beekeepers. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into the 10 things that I personally believe every new beekeeper needs to master. I wish that when I started my beekeeping journey, I had focused on these 10 things, especially in my first year of beekeeping. Whether you are just starting out or considering to get your first hive, these tips will set you up for sweet success. So grab your bee suit and let's get buzzing. Alright, let's kick off with number 1. Choosing the right location for your hives. When picking a spot for your beehive, you have a couple of factors that you need to take into consideration. Number 1, place your hives in an area that has both sunlight and has some shade during the day. Definitely, your hive needs to have protection against the wind. You also need a very good water source nearby your hives to ensure that they have adequate amount of water. In my apiary, I use chicken feeders or huge drums, old drums and that, to host water for my bees. I have my personal philosophy. If you're not willing to drink that water, then don't give it to your bees. They are producing something that we are all sharing and eating together. So clean water is very important. And water actually plays a very key role in the making of honey and the day-to-day production in your hive. In flowers. And it was a complete mess. Every single time I had to go and inspect it, I had a cactus sticking me here or a flower in the front of my face, and it really bugged me all the time. Although I felt this was a really good area for my bees, it wasn't a good area for me to do inspections. So take that into consideration where you are placing your hive. What's also important is try and elevate your hives. Keep them away from pests and also your pets. So if you have them at your own home, pets are going to sniff around, move around them. So make sure that they are sturdy, the pets can't bump them over, and that they have a sturdy foundation that the hive sits on. Bees like things that are level. And remember, happy bees makes for happy beekeepers. Number 2, invest in good quality beekeeping equipment. As a new beginner beekeeper, I always advise you to start with the basic tools. That is a smoker, a hive tool, and a good quality suit. Now, I'm going to reiterate this to you again. A good suit is essential. If you are going to be spending money on equipment, spend it on the bee suit. If you are in a bee suit for a couple of hours, there is a lot of things to think about. Number 1, get a good suit that's going to ventilate well. Make sure that the suit is at least 2 to 3 sizes bigger than your normal size. Because some people think that we don't get stung through our suits. We get stung all the time. The only thing is, in between our skin and the suit, we tend to place some extra layers. And that's why you need to make sure that your suit is a little bit bigger. When it comes to hive tools, I use the basics. I just use a normal J hook. That's my favorite hook, but there's a couple of them on the market, and it comes out to you as the beekeeper. Try different tools, but make sure that you keep them clean. A clean beekeeper and clean tools and disease-free hives. Guys, I cannot reiterate this. Make sure your tools are really well looked after. Then, another tool that I would also recommend you invest some money into is a good smoker. Don't go cheap on your smoker. I see a lot of beginner beekeepers start out with the cheapest smoker they can find, and they end up getting rid of that smoker because it just doesn't burn properly. It keeps going out on them when they're doing inspections, and it's just a mess all the time. So really do your homework when buying a smoker. But that is the basic tools that I believe any beekeeper should start with. Trust me, as you continue your beekeeping journey, you will definitely be buying more equipment. For example, I started out with those basic equipment. After a couple of months, I realized I don't like putting my frames on the floor. So that's when I bought a frame holder so that I could hold my frames. You will get things over time. Don't get analysis by paralysis, trying to make sure that you get all the equipment in the beginning. A good suit, a good smoker, a good hive tool, and maybe a frame holder are the 4 basic things you need to start out. And trust me, those are the tools that will take the most amount of heavy lifting for you. So make sure you really put some effort and some funds towards purchasing some really, really good equipment. Number 3, learn how to handle bees safely. Handling bees can be very, very intimidating, but with practice, you will definitely get the handle on it. Move slowly, stay calm, always wear your protective equipment as specified. The first time I did some of my inspections, I didn't buy a really good suit, and I was very lucky to only have 1 sting. So it is essential that you learn how to handle your bees safely. Now, are you going to get it right every single time? No. I made so many mistakes in my first year of beekeeping. For example, on my very first hive inspection that I did, everything went well. I was so excited. I was nervous. I had taken out my frames. I didn't see my queen, but I did see some eggs, some larvae, and I was just excited to be a beekeeper. Although my bees were very aggro, I just love being able to open them up and have a look at how this ecosystem works. Everything went well. Smoker was smoking, the bees were calm. I only got 1 sting, and that was because I had a poor quality suit, and everything was great. I did my inspection, I put all the frames back inside, I put my lid back up, and then I wanted to pack away my equipment. Half an hour later, looking for my hive tool, a thought popped up. Is the reason why I am not finding my hive tool because I have left it in the hive? And guess what? When I lifted up that lid and I had a look inside my hive, my J hook was lying right on top of the frames, and I was so frustrated because I was looking everywhere for this hive tool and I knew it had to be somewhere. So guys, if I, as an experienced beekeeper now, made that mistake the first time that I started with beekeeping, then you are going to make a lot of mistakes, and just roll with it. I even did a move of a hive at night. I was too lazy to put on my entire suit. I didn't take a light, and I decided I simply just wanted to pick up the hive and just shift it a little bit over and put it on the new stand because the old stand was breaking. So I lifted, and as I lifted the hive, and at that moment, I had faced the reality that I was holding a brood box with 10 frames with no bottom and bees pouring out the side. I was in a t-shirt and a short pants. I only got stung once, but I never made that mistake again. If I'm moving hives, I will have my protective gear on because things happen. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because I made just as many mistakes as you did. And I also messed up all the time. But as time goes on, the more inspections you do, the calmer you stay, the more you engage with your bees, the more confidence you will gain over time, and the better beekeeper you'll become. Number 6, be patient with harvesting honey. Your first year may not yield you any honey, and that is okay. Focus on building strong colonies first, and the honey will follow. This is such an important thing. Many people believe that they can simply just buy a hive and it will automatically produce a lot of honey. It does not work that way. If you caught a swarm, you are looking at 2 years before you can really start getting some honey from them. If they have any disease or the queen is lacking potential, that means you will delay that process. If you are buying a small nuke, it takes about 2 years for you to go from the 5 frames to the 10 frame brood box and then only going up to harvesting honey. So the only way that you can have a plug and play of having instant honey is if you are already buying a full set of bees from a farmer or a fellow beekeeper that is already ready for harvesting honey. That is the only way that you will have a honey crop from the moment that you get them. But here's the thing, you miss out on all the other things, like learning how to manage your bees properly, learning how to switch out frames. There's a lot of things that comes with a nuke and helping that colony to grow and expand that you will not get if you just buy a full 10 frame ready to go box. And just because you bought a full set box of honeybees, that does not mean they're going to produce a lot of honey. Be patient with your bees. Focus on quantity and quality before you get into honey. Number 7, regular hive inspections. Regular hive inspections will help you to spot any problems before they become unmanageable, like diseases or pests. Keep an eye out for any unusual activity when you are doing your inspection. Now, there is no cost in stone procedure to follow on when to inspect your bees. My personal philosophy, and something I wish I did a lot more in my first year of beekeeping, was to do weekly inspections. I was completely confused. Some people say do it weekly. Some people say do it every 2 weeks. Some people say do it once a month. Some say do it every 2 months. I was all over the show. My best advice to you right now is, if you are a brand new beekeeper, you have your first 2 hives, focus on doing an inspection every single week for the first 3 months. That is 12 inspections that you're going to do on your hive every single week. And the only reason why I am saying that is it will help you to build the confidence to do inspections. And when you are a beginner, you don't know what to look for. You don't know what the queen looks like. You don't know how to see everything. And it takes time to inspect your beehive. So the important thing is, the reason why you are doing a hive inspection every week is for you to focus on one specific thing when you go into the hive. When you go into the hive, look for larvae. When you go into the hive, look for hive beetles. When you go into the hive, look for honey, how much pollen. And it's a great way for not only for you to build confidence, but it's also a great way for you to get used to and to train your eye what to look for. After that, after the next 3 months, you can then do an inspection every 2 weeks. I do not let any of my hives go longer than 2 weeks. I'm in my hives every single second week, if it's not every single week. I love inspecting my hives. I love engaging with my bees, and it has helped me a lot of times to catch problems before they become unmanageable. Number 8, feed your bees when necessary. This is a very controversial topic. Sometimes bees need a little help and support, especially during the winter or early spring. Sugar water and pollen patties can keep your colony healthy and strong. The reason why I'm saying this is a very controversial topic is some beekeepers don't feed at all. They don't believe in it. They will let the colony die out because it is not a strong enough colony. it's not worth for them to keep it. Other beekeepers feed their bees regularly. For me personally, I give my bees pollen patties and I feed my bees sugar water when I feel that it is necessary. I will rather babysit that hive and help them to build up to becoming a strong colony than just giving up on them halfway. This is my personal philosophy. That's the way I do it. I don't lose a lot of hives during my seasons because I do that. Again, that's just how I see it. Other beekeepers will have a difference of opinion, but for me personally, I will feed them when they need it. I will give them what they need when they need it. The way I look at my bees is the way I look at all my pets. They're like my cat or my dog. If my dog needs something extra nutrition, I'm going to give it to my dog. I'm not just going to look at it and say, well, if it's not strong enough to handle it, well, let it die. No, I don't see my bees like that. I don't see them as just a wild animal. I see it as an animal that I'm going to take care of. And I'm going to do everything I can to give my bees a winning chance to becoming a superior colony. Number 9, monitor the weather. This is something I wish I had focused on a lot more as a beginner beekeeper. But why, Marnie? Why should I check what the weather is doing? Because the reason why you need to check the weather is for you to understand what is happening. Bees are very, very sensitive to the weather. And normally their behavior will tell you what's happening in the weather as well. It will confirm what you are seeing on the forecasts. Weather can affect your bees significantly. Be prepared for extreme conditions. I have sugar water on a backup all the time. I have pollen patties on a backup. If I see that there is a certain weathercast coming in, I will make sugar water, I will make pollen patties, I will buy insulation to make sure that I can take care of my bees during that conditions. I believe that I'm going to protect them from the elements. Again, I'm going to help my bees as much as I can to thrive and become the colony that I know they can be. And finally, number 10, and the most important one of them all, is detailed record keeping. Record everything. Hive inspections, weather conditions, how much honey, larva, eggs, queen, how many frames of bees, everything, varroa tests. Record everything. You cannot remember everything. Good records will help you to track your progress and make informed decisions. I wish that in the beginning I had focused a lot more on keeping detailed records. It is so important to track what is happening in your hives. Record keeping also helps for insurance purposes. So have a file, have a good pen, make your inspections. If you don't have one, don't worry. I've got a nice PDF that you can download in the link in the description. Click on it in the description, download the free one. I will even throw in my online one that you can fill in on your phone. I like to go digital. It's easier for me to have my phone next to me and to record everything that I'm seeing. It's also a great way for you to train yourself on what to look for in a hive. It is very easy to just go through the step-by-step process that I have on my inspection sheet. By the time I get to the end of the inspection, I have literally looked at everything. All right, guys, that is the 10 things that I believe any beginner beekeeper needs to focus on. Those are the 10 things that I wished I had focused on more. I hope you found these tips really helpful. If you did, guys, please give my video a thumbs up, share it with other people or fellow beekeepers, and also hit the subscribe button. I am going to be dropping a lot more educational videos as well as vlog videos showing you guys how I am growing my apiary. Please hit that notification bell so that you know when I am dropping such amazing content like this. Guys, it was a blast to share this with you guys today. It was also a blast just to reflect on when I was a beginner beekeeper. And I can guarantee you guys, I have never left a hive tool inside of my hive ever since that day. So guys, if you've got any questions or tips or tricks of your own, please drop them in the comment section. Let us share with each other and learn from each other. So if there's any questions that you guys have, things that you don't understand, or maybe you just can't find the answers, drop it in the comment section and I'll answer them for you. As always, guys, I'll see you in the next video and have a bee-rific day.